Okay, so today I'm going to make chunky potato and corn soup. It is out of the recipe book, Power Pressure Cooker XL Top 500 Recipes. And it is in the vegetable and side dish category on page 113. So I've had to tweak this a little bit today. It's just after Christmas and I really am not feeling like going to the store to get 2 or 3 ingredients that I don't have. So we are just making some little substitutions. But this recipe calls for 1.5 pounds of Yukon potatoes, 2 cups of corn, 2 shallots, 5.5 cups of vegetable stock, 3 teaspoons of canola oil, 1/3 cup of yogurt, salt and pepper, and bay leaves. And then the instructions as I will show you as we're going. So my first substitution is I do not have yogurt right now. So I have made buttermilk, which is pretty easy to do, and we will use that instead. I also do not have shallots, so we're just using regular yellow onions, and instead of bay leaves, I will just use a little bit of oregano leaves and some parsley, maybe throw in a little garlic as well. All right, so I've got my potatoes. I need 1.5 pounds. So my scale goes in ounces, so it should be 24 ounces. So it's just over, so after I've peeled them and chopped them, it should be about the right weight. And then I've got my corn, and then buttermilk, onions, and spices. All right, so I'm just gonna go and chop up the potatoes and I will be right back. Okay, so now I have to plug in the power pressure cooker. And I will add some oil and saute the onions for 3 minutes. There's the chicken and meat. So I've added the oil, and then I will add the onions that I have chopped up. I've been cooking for about 1 minute now. I'm just going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. So I like to season everything as I go. And they'll cook for another minute. Okay, so the onions are ready. I added just a pinch of red chili flakes in here as well, just to give us some extra flavor. So now I'm going to push the cancel button. And now it's time to add the vegetable stock, the potatoes, and the rest of the seasoning. So I have measured out 5.5 cups of vegetable stock, and I have approximately almost 4 cups of the diced potatoes. We'll put in a little more salt and pepper. And here's a little bit of oregano. And I'm going to put in a little bit of dry parsley as well. Okay, so now we need to put the lid on and turn it to soup and stew and cook for 10 minutes. It's in the lock position, and we will close the valve. The pressure is starting to build. You can hear it, and maybe you can see the steam. And it should start cooking pretty quick. Here we go, 10 minutes. All right, less than 1 minute to go. So now we just have to release the steam. And then once it unlocks, we have to add the corn and the buttermilk. Give it a stir and then it'll be ready. Once it finishes to pressurizing, we can open the lid and see what's inside. There we go. All right, so now I need to add the corn. That was 2 cups. And our buttermilk. That was 1/3 of a cup. And if you want, you can make this a creamier potato soup by just adding a cup of it into a blender and then adding it back in. It was good soup on a very snowy day. Over a foot in the last couple days.